We have a very nice song. And I want to play this song. I will share the screen. You can see this song as well. Can you see that screen, Prakash?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, that is a very nice song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our great Vaishnava Acharya. Sorry. Keno mana, kamere nacao. That's a song. Keno mana, kamere nacao. By Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The official name is Upadesha Song 19 because it is composed in that volume of Upadesha Song 19. The book name where it has been published is Kalyana Kalpataru, and the language is Bengali. Varshana Mataji, welcome. Are you well?
Haribol, yes, thank you. Better.
Oh, it's nice to see you here. That is good, and you're feeling better. That is also very nice. So we have a very nice song. Can you see that song? That shared screen in front of you? Vaishana Mataji?
Is it just the plaque with keno maha, kamere
Yes,
nacao?
okay. Yes,
Yes.
everything will come from there. Keno mana kamere nacao. It's by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. That is the song. And we'll start off. Keno mana kamere nacao prema pre karma charma mamsha moi kama. Keno mana kamere nacao prema pre charma mamsha moi kama. Chara shukha abhirama chara bishayete satade. Chara shukha abhirama chara bishayete satade. Tell me, why, my dear mind, why are you forced to dance by lust? Why do you think that such dancing is Krishna conscious? Your lust is simply abounding in skin and meat, and you are addicted to non-stop material sense gratification. Thus you factually spend your time in running, here and there chasing after worldly sense objects. Chipe svarupa dharma, shit svarupa prema marma, tahar bishaya matra hari. Chipe svarupa dharma, chat svarupa prema marma, taha bishaya madra hari. Kama abharane hoy prema epashukta pray. Prema jago mama durakori. Kama abharana hey prema epasukta pray. Prema jagao kama durakori. The soul's original eternal nature is pure love within the innermost core of its spiritual conscious form, and the sole object of repose for that pure love is Lord Hari. Alas, how lamentable it is that this inherent ecstatic love is now lying in a dormant, sleeping state due to the artificial covering of this temporary lust. My dear mind, banishing this lust to a distant place, just rouse and reawaken your sleeping prema. Shraddha hoite sadhu sange, Bhajane kriya range, Nishtaruchi asakti udoy. Shraddha hoite sadhu sange, Bhajaner kriya range, Nishtaruchi asakti udoy. Asakti hoite baba, Tahe prema bhadur baba, Ekrame prema upachoy. Only in the following sequence does pure love of Krishna awaken. First, one develops Shraddha, faith, in the process of Krishna consciousness. Then, due to that faith, one becomes enthusiastic for Sadhu Sangha, the association of devotees. Then, by performance of Bhajana Kriya, devotional worship, in the company of the devotees, there awakens Nishtha, steadiness in service, then Ruchi, taste, then Asakti, attachment to the Lord. This attachment then gives rise to Bhava, genuine ecstatic emotions, from which prema, pure love for Krishna, manifests is reawakening. Only in this sequence does prema occur, come into being. Ihate chatana char, sepai prema sar, krama tyage prema nahi chage. E krama sadhane boy, keno kora durasoi, kame prema kapu nahi lage. E krama sadhane boy, keno kora durasoi, kame prema kapu nahi lage. One who endeavors for this bona fide process gets the essence of pure ecstatic love for Krishna. One who neglects the proper order of this procedure does not experience reawakening of pure prema. My dear mind, why are you maintaining the wicked mentality of apprehension and fear of this bona fide method of devotional practice? By cultivation of your lust in this mundane sphere, you will never be able to touch upon genuine ecstatic love for Krishna. Nata kampinoi prai, sakapata prema bhai, tate madra indriya santosha. Indriya doshanachar, satagora bharihar, charobai aparatha dosha. Indriya doshanachar, satagora parihar, charobai aparatha dosha. So, by the likes of your dramatic performance of dancing in lust, you think that this is indicative of your prema, but it is actually a deceptive, feigned imitation of prema. Thus, your whole process is simply gross sense gratification. My dear brother, always reject such degraded, contemptible sense gratification, casting out this grave offense to the Lord. Hare Krishna. And welcome, Nalini Mataji. Welcome, Ben. Prakash Varshana. Hare Krishna. Here we
Hare
are.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, welcome everyone.
Thank
There
you.
was a beautiful song. It has been given to me by Pandava Prabhu. And we will sing that more often. It gives the exact sequence of the devotional process. It is there is lots of things there. That is a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And okay. Right, before we start, it's a very exciting evening tonight. We have a quiz. Nalini Mataji, Evashana Mataji, Prakash, Ben. We have a quiz. We have worked it out, I think so, how to do it. We do it a little bit later. We have apologies from Pandava Prabhu. He cannot make it tonight, and that's all. Let me check my mobile if there's anybody else. Yes, there are 3 messages. Amit. Unfortunately, I cannot make it. I thought so. That is all. So no Amit, no Pandava, but the rest of us are here. And stay with us. We might finish a little bit earlier, which is, I guess, always welcome. So before we start, just a few words. I have been asked to speak a little bit on how is it time flies by. We have the best intention to chant, to hear, to read, for sadhu sangha, but whatever space we make, it gets filled up with so many other things, seemingly important things. So that is a question. It has been asked, and I have been asked to say something on that. And I'm sure everybody can feel that too. We make some space, and as soon as we make some space, it is filled up with a never-ending stream of duties and so many things we have to do in our lives. As soon as there is some space, it's getting filled up. So there is a nice quote of Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita in 7:15. Namam dushkritino muta. That's that verse. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, most often, those who work very hard day and night. Yeah, everybody tries to work very hard day and night. Many people will ask, why don't you come tonight? Of course, that doesn't apply to you who are here. You made some space somehow or other. But if others haven't been so fortunate of making some space, welcome Rashmi, welcome Tom. We're just speaking about, I have been asked to speak on time flies by so quickly. We have the best intention to chant, to hear, read, sadhu sangha. But whatever space we make, it gets filled up with so many other things, seemingly important things. So Srila Prabhupada writes here in the Bhagavad Gita, most often those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. That is Bhagavad Gita 7:15. What does it mean, self-created duties? Well, we're creating our own duties from the very beginning. And there is, in this connection, the answer is actually a very nice verse. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktira tokshache ahaituki apratiyataya yatma suprasitati. Very well known verse. That gives the answer, supreme occupation, dharma. So the supreme dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. So we have so many duties, so many dharmas, but the highest, the supreme dharma is that by which one can attain to the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. So, that is the answer. We have to set priorities. Priorities is very important in our spiritual lives. Whatever we have to do, we have to just get the perspectives right. We have to set priorities. And in this way, we will actually create some space. And we have to have the spiritual strength to reinforce that and not let the mind go wild with distraction and so on and so on. So that question is answered with this beautiful verse. Okay, let's move on from here. Let's go straight to the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Today we're looking at the first canto, 11th chapter, 25th verse, and I'll just post it here in the chat for everyone to see. 1:11:25. Okay. Tom is back. Here, Tom is a link for the Bhagavatam, which we look at right now. Let's go to that verse. Everybody has that in front of him. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 1:11:25. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi tvarakaukasam na vitribhyantihi drishya shriyodamangam achyutam. Translation. The inhabitants of Dwarka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, yet they were never satiated. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the ladies of the city of Dwarka got up on the roofs of their palaces, they never thought that they had previously many times seen the beautiful body of the infallible Lord. This indicates that they had no satiation in desiring to see the Lord. Anything material seen for a number of times ultimately becomes unattractive by the law of satiation. The law of satiation acts materially, but there is no scope for it in the spiritual realm. The word infallible is significant here because although the Lord has mercifully descended to earth, He is still infallible. The living entities are fallible because they come in contact with the material world. They lack the spiritual identity. And thus the body, materially obtained, becomes subjected to birth, growth, transformation, situation, deterioration, and annihilation under the laws of nature. The Lord's body is not like that. He descends as He is, and is never under the law of the material modes. His body is the source of everything that be, the reservoir of all beauties beyond our experience. No one, therefore, is satiated by seeing the transcendental body of the Lord, because there is always manifestations of newer and newer beauties. The transcendental name, form, qualities, entourage, etc. are all spiritual manifestations, and there is no satiation in chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no satiation in discussing the qualities of the Lord, and there is no limitation of the entourage of the Lord. He is the source of all, and all is limitless. Hare Krishna. Omagenati mirandas yagen anshana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Sva Badantikam. Hare Krishna. That's a beautiful verse. The main point I'll pick out is spiritually there is no satiation. We have experience in this material world that after having seen something for a number of times, it loses its attractiveness. That's a very, very practical observation. We see something for a number of times, we want to see something new, and new, and new, and new. So, because our senses, our eyes are satiated, it becomes boring. Let's just say, we see a film, television show, soap opera, whichever, Bollywood film. How many times can we see? It becomes boring after some time. Okay, someone may object, what about the Mahabharata? And that's different. That is topics about the Lord. We can see the Mahabharata hundreds, millions times, and we never become satiated. This is a difference between spiritual topics and the material energy. It's the same, not only the eyes, the same with the ears. If we hear something, music, over and over again, the ears become satiated and it's becoming hackneyed, it becomes dry. That feeling when we hear our favorite songs the first time, that feeling disappears. It has to do with the ears and it has to do with the mind, mainly the mind, the material mind. Things become satiated. Even our favorite song, hearing it every day, from morning till evening, how long can we hear? After a week, latest, let's change the tune, let's change the song. So for the ears, for the eyes, what to speak of the tongue? It's the same for the tongue. Our favorite dish, what is it? Shrikant, gulab jamun, sabji, varshanas, beautiful sabji. Hey, but this is different. Because prasadam is different. We never become satiated by prasadam. Just see. Spiritually, we'll never become satiated. We can see the beautiful form of the Lord, hear his pastimes, hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, hear Bhagavad Gita, taste prasadam, we'll never become satiated, the senses. It's always fresh and new. And if we somehow or other become satiated, then we should understand we're on the material plane. That's not the spiritual plane. On the spiritual plane, we don't become satiated. So that is one point, a big point, the main point of this beautiful verse, this beautiful purport. Anyone has any question? Now it's the time. We have a big turnout tonight, I have to say. Anyone? Question, any comment? Hare Krishna. Prakash Ji, you have to go already. We hardly started, but thank you for being here. You are a wonderful soul. Have a nice sleep and dream of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and we'll see you again on Wednesday for Bhagavad Gita workshop. Hare Krishna. Okay, there is Prakash, he's gone. So, if we have no questions, let's move on to the next verse. And I would like to ask Ben, can you give us a reading of the next verse, Ben? What does it mean by fresh and new? Is your microphone working, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay, no need for the chat, because the chat stays only for a short time and then it disappears. Okay, so your question is, what does it mean by fresh and new? Okay, who can answer this question? What does it mean? Fresh and new. Rashmi, what do you say? What is fresh and new? What Srila Prabhupada refers to in this verse. Rashmi Mataji. Can you answer this question?
I can try, Prabhuji. I don't know whether it's correct. I can only tell you what I think. So when you're reading all these, when you're listening, every time Janmashtami comes and I listen to the same Leela of Krishna's appearance, when Damodar, the month of Damodar comes, again you go through the same Leela of Damodar and Govardhan when the month of Kartik comes. But you don't get tired of them. You are still listening to the speaker again with the same attention as though he's telling you a new story every time. So maybe that is what Srila Prabhupada is saying.
Yes, that is beautiful. Ben, do you get that idea? Fresh and new, never become tired of hearing, of seeing, of tasting, and so on. Is that what it means? Fresh and new, spiritually. And materially, we become quickly satiated, quickly tired. Nice question. Thank you, and nice answer. Anyone else? Any other question? So let's move to text 26. Ben, you want to take on 26? Are you happy to take on 26?
I'm happy to take it on, but I was reading the verse. I thought my microphone was on. I didn't realize I'd been.
You were reading already the verse. No, your microphone.
I didn't realize you muted me. All
right. Yes, when we don't speak, let's mute our microphone because there is background noise. So 26, the microphone is all yours.
Okay, I have to go and get the verse.
And I will also mute my microphone.
Shriyo nivaso yasyora panapatram mukam drishyam bahavo loka palanam saranganam padambujam. Translation. The Lord's chest is the abode of the goddess of fortune. His moon-like face is the drinking vessel for eyes which hanker after all that is beautiful. His arms are the resting places for the administrative demigods, and his lotus feet are the refuge of pure devotees who never talk or sing of any subject except his lordship. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are different classes of human beings. All are seeking different enjoyments from different objects. There are persons who are seeking after the favor of the goddess of fortune, and for them the Vedic literatures give information that the Lord is always served with all reverence by thousands and thousands of goddesses of fortune at the Chintamani Dam, the transcendental abode of the Lord, where the trees are all desire trees and the buildings are made of touchstone. Lord Govinda is engaged there in herding the Swarabhi cows as his natural occupation. These goddesses of fortune can be seen automatically if we are attracted by the bodily features of the Lord. The impersonalists cannot observe such goddesses of fortune because of their dry speculative habit, and those who are artists overtaken by the beautiful creation should better see to the beautiful face of the Lord for complete satisfaction. The face of the Lord is the embodiment of beauty. What they call beautiful nature is but his smile, and what they call sweet songs of the birds are but specimens of the whispering voice of the Lord. There are administrative demigods in charge of departmental service of cosmic management, and there are tiny administrative gods in the state of service. They are always afraid of other competitors, but if they take shelter of the arms of the Lord can protect them always from the attacks of enemies. A faithful servant of the Lord, engaged in the service of administration, is the ideal executive head and can well protect the interests of the people in general. Other so-called administrators are symbols of anachronisms, leading to the acute distress of the people who are governed by them. The administrators can remain safely under the protection of the arms of the Lord. The essence of everything is the Supreme Lord. He is called Saram, and those who sing and talk about him are called the Sarangas, or the pure devotees. The pure devotees are always hankering after the lotus feet of the Lord. The lotus has a kind of honey, which is transcendentally relished by the devotees. They are like bees who are always after the honey. Srila Rupa Goswami, the great devotee Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, has sung a song about this lotus honey, comparing himself to the bee. O my Lord Krishna, I beg to offer my prayers unto you. My mind is like the bee, and it is after some honey. Kindly, therefore, give my bee mind a place at your lotus feet, which are the resources for all transcendental honey. I know that even big demigods like Brahma do not see the rays of the nails of your lotus feet, even though they are engaged in deep meditation for years together. Still, O infallible one, my ambition is such, for you are very merciful to your surrendered devotees. O Madhava, I know also that I have no genuine devotion for the service of your lotus feet, but because your lordship is inconceivably powerful, you can do what is impossible to be done. Your lotus feet can deride even the nectar of the heavenly kingdoms, and therefore I am very much attracted by them. O Supreme Eternal, please therefore let my mind be fixed at your lotus feet, so that eternally I may be able to relish the taste of your transcendental service. The devotees are satisfied with being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord and have no ambition to see his all-beautiful face or aspire for the protection of the strong arms of the Lord. They are humble by nature, and the Lord is always leaning towards such humble devotees. Jai.
Hare Krishna, what a purport is that? Oh my God, it's absolutely beautiful. Ben, say something about it.
Phew. Oh, wow. was text 26, wasn't it?
Yeah. What sticks in your mind?
Well, it's like it's in a sense is like comparing different types of human beings, you know, who are after have different desires and goals, and Prabhupada is explaining, you know, what different people they're after or seeking, you know, but in a sense they're kind of they're being deluded from what is the ultimate and real goal. So they're basically attracted by the material energy or wealth or something different, you know, which is diverting them, if you like, from the real. Prabhupada talks about nectar, you know.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Let me say something. There's a nice verse in Bhagavad Gita 10.9. I'm sure you know that, Ben. Mat chitta matgata prana botayanta parasparam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. Tushyanti charamanti. That's a very important line. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So the devotees, they never get tired. Same thing, they never get satiated. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. They always can talk about the beautiful, attractive features of the Lord, not eternally. And as Lord Chaitanya says, Ananda Buddhivartanam, an ever-expanding ocean of bliss. And here we are, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 devotees here. And so many others are missing out that nectar, because they're seeking that nectar somewhere else. In so many self-created duties, which they're never able to satisfy. And they're seeking that nectar there, but satisfaction is not available. And at the end, they have to just continue another birth and another birth, and to try to fulfill their material desires. But devotees, in particular the pure devotees, is very, very different. They're attracted by all these, like that beautiful example of Rupa Goswami. It's just like a bee after the honey, but where is the honey? The honey is at the lotus feet of the Lord. And this Bhagavatam which we're reading tonight, this is the lotus feet of the Lord. And there is so much more. Okay, anything else? Ben or anybody else?
Yeah, I had a question. It says, Prabhupada says in the purport that devotees are satisfied with being placed at the lotus feet of the Lord and have no ambition to see the all-beautiful face or aspire to the protection of strong arms of the Lord. Can you say something about that?
Who can say something about that? Vaishnav Mataji, what do you say? Why we are aiming for the lotus feet of the Lord? Anyone? Rashmi? Nalini? Tam? Why we are aiming for the lotus feet of the Lord? Why not for the lotus face? Nobody? Well, the question could be, why we're not jumping straight to the 10th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? We don't. Why are we studying the creation? Actually, Srila Prabhupada explains there's no difference. Of course, a beautiful face of the Lord, smiling face is appreciated. There's no question about it. But devotees are satisfied with serving the lotus feet of the Lord. They just want to be engaged in the service of the Lord. Birth after birth. Lord Chaitanya says, birth after birth. Lord Chaitanya doesn't say, this birth, and then go back home to God. He doesn't even say that. Himself, he says, birth after birth is his Shikshastakam prayers. And he is Krishna himself. He sets the example. Devotees are satisfied with the devotional service of the Lord himself. The gopis are satisfied. Rashika, welcome, Hare Krishna. We're reading Srimad-Bhāgavatam, text
26.
26. Here it is for you in the chat. Hare Krishna. So, devotees are actually pure devotees that don't even inspire of going back home to Godhead. But for us, it is okay if we are motivated back home, back to Godhead. Yes, that's why we have that slogan, back home, back to Godhead. So yes, we are with both feet still, or one foot in the material energy, then yes, back home, back to Godhead. That's our enough. We have enough here of this world. But the pure devotees actually don't pray like that. My dear Lord, if you need a little servant serving one speck of dust of your lotus feet, you can place me anywhere. If there is someone needed in Patalaloka, in the place of Yamaraj, in Mahatala, in Talatala, then I'm very happy to do some preaching, some service. So that's a mood of the pure devotees. But we can happily be satisfied, back home, back to Godhead. Get out of here. Otherwise we'll never get out of here. We just find it too comfortable. But it's not comfortable here. Dukhala yama shashvatam. It's a place of misery. Okay. Anything else?
But
If
he's
not,
yes? It's not a place of misery to the pure devotee, though, is it?
No, it's not, because they're always engaged in the service of the Lord. This material world is just like Vaikuntha. If we are always connected with Krishna and we're seeing Krishna everywhere, and we're always in one way or other engaged in his devotional service, even while doing our household duties, that doesn't stop us. I mean, most people, not you, Ben, but others that drive, they have a car. What do you do when you drive? Nothing. Maybe listen to the radio. If you're very fortunate, you listen to Gitamrita, Bhagavad Gita. Rashmi probably is doing that. But most of the time we'll probably not listen to anything. We just drive. So while we're just driving, what are we thinking about? That's the question. What are we thinking about while we're driving? The mind is always thinking. So the proposal is, why not think of Krishna? We have a 2-hour drive, 1-hour drive, half an hour drive, but whichever. Why not just think of Krishna? All the time, constantly. In this way, the material world becomes just like Vaikuntha, blissful. Yes, the body deteriorates and so many things, but we hardly notice it. We only connected, constantly be connected in the Vaikuntha atmosphere. That can be achieved very easily. How to achieve, let's take that example. While we're driving the car, how can we achieve that? We're always thinking of Krishna. Well, chant Hare Krishna. I'm doing that. Whenever I'm driving, I chant Hare Krishna. When I'm not driving, I chant Hare. Just let's chant Hare Krishna. So mind has to think of something. Why not Krishna? And the best way, the easiest way to think of Krishna is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Krishna. That can be easily done. Easily done. Just we have to curb the mind, make the mind our best friend, and then at one point it will automatically come. We cannot even stop thinking of Krishna. We cannot even stop chanting. Lord Chaitanya, he spoke like that. We cannot even stop chanting. It's just going around, Hare Krishna, whatever we do. So it doesn't matter if you're a householder, if you're brahmachari, sannyasi, grihasta, vanaprashna, brahmin, a shudra, a kshatriya. Doesn't matter, it has nothing to do with it. In any position, we'll just connect with Krishna. Then if we connect it always with Krishna, like that verse, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, this devotional service, the highest duty of mankind, which we talked about earlier on, but this must be done uninterrupted and unmotivated. That's the secret. Not I do it in order to get some material benefit, or any benefit, not even any pious punya. That's also material benefit. If we think, oh, well, we're collecting our brownie points, we're collecting our punya points. That's material motivation. That has to go. We're not collecting punya. We don't care about punya. Punya gets us only up to Svargaloka, and then we have to come back down here. Punya doesn't get us back to Vaikuntha or get us to Goloka Vrindavan. No, any amount of punya is just punya is pious activities. But by engaging in devotional service, we're getting more than punya. And while we're engaging in devotional service, our motivation is actually punya. We're engaging in Krishna's devotional service for some material benefits, then we're missing the point. We're missing the point. I said it should be unmotivated, our devotional service, and uninterrupted as well. Not starting, stopping, start, stop. Constantly. And if we constantly on that platform, we uninterrupted, and we have trained our mind to always think of Krishna, to always chant the Maha Mantra in the mind, loud, with the lips, within the mind. These three stages, if we do that, then this world is not full of miseries. As you said, Ben, it's just like Vaikuntha. We constantly engage in Krishna's service. That is wanted. We have to come to that stage. To come to that stage, we'll have to practice. Chanting 4 rounds regularly, 8 rounds, 11 rounds, 16 rounds. So that will help us. That will help us to come to this stage, chanting a fixed number of rounds. But if we chant today our fixed number of rounds and tomorrow, we all have too much to do. I'm too exhausted, I'm too tired. Oh, I have this to do and that to do, and all these self-created duties ultimately. Then that is not uninterrupted. Therefore, we are trained to fix a certain amount of rounds. Ben, you're making noises on your side. I'm feeling almost like I want to mute your microphone, or you just keep quiet. If we do that, then we are always engaged. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Any other questions? These are beautiful questions, Ben. It gives us an opportunity to look deeper into that subject matter. Rashmi, what do you say? Is it possible to, I don't even say always think of Krishna. I say, is it possible to increasingly train our mind of thinking of Krishna? Is it possible? Or anybody else? What, Rashmi, say something. You're now chanting 11 rounds, I believe. Maybe you have increased that. I don't know. Where are you at? Rashmi Mataji.
I'm still at 11.
Yes. So you have increased from 1 to 11. And so is that helping you?
I don't know whether it is helping me. I'm doing it out of duty. But I have faith that if everybody has walked on that path, all the acharyas have walked on that path, and that is the path they have shown, then you have to trust, put your trust somewhere. So I rather put my trust in them.
Oh, isn't that nice?
So yeah, I'm continuing. I don't know whether it is making any difference.
You rather put your trust in the acharyas than put your trust in some fallible political leaders, scientists, philosophers, or whoever else. That's very nice. So that shows you are definitely on the path. Vaishana Mataji, your hand is up. Ben, can I mute you? I will tell you I mute you. When you need to speak, put your hand up and I unmute you again. Or you unmute yourself. Vaishana Mataji, okay, what you have to say?
101%. I say it makes a difference. Chanting. And
it makes a difference.
I can.
What difference? Tell me. Tell us your experience. What's the difference?
That's my experience, because
yes,
there was a time when I first started cooking 20 years ago, I think, and somebody asked me, I'm sure it was Keshava Prabhu, and I said I'd do 1 round, and he said I'd like to see you do more rounds, and I said, oh no way, never, that won't be me. And now it's been 12 years and I've been chanting over 16. And I think especially after you have a guru, the inspiration is so much. There's something within you, it does something to you. And as you go along, and like I say, life does have its ups and downs. I think I've had more downs than ups, but even then, it's like keep calm and carry on. And it just helps you so much, because you've got inspiration from the guru, you've got the faith, and like Rashmi Prabhu said, you follow in the footsteps of acharyas. No doubt, I don't think I'll be able to go that way, but the point is just to have that knowledge that this mantra is 101%, and there's nothing ever better. And I think as you go along, the improvement's there daily. It just goes on and on and on. And like you said, if you're thinking about Krishna most days, about feeding, about dressing, about cooking, about cleanliness, everything, it's something you do daily, every day. And if you can incorporate that into your life, then it's just heaven on earth.
That's the most beautiful. Thank you very much. And that sounds really very much like a life experience, not a theoretical thing. That is really a practical realization. Yes, absolutely. And how are we connecting with Krishna? It doesn't matter. It matters that we're connecting. You may connect on a knowledge, intellectual way and studying way, or someone else may connect on a practical way. Someone else may just be so absorbed in Krishna by her cooking her. That is fine. Someone else may be so absorbed by deity worship. Someone else may be so absorbed by doing Kirtan and Bhajan, and there are a multitude of studying Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't matter which way we are connected, but it matters that we are connected. Everybody has their own preference how to engage in devotional service. And whatever physical activity we do to engage in devotional service, it is meant to satiate the mind, to absorb the mind in the devotional service of the Lord. And of course, all these activities, from cooking to bhajan to studying. It must always, any external activities, cleaning, whichever, it must always be accompanied, always, by chanting the Mahamantra. So Mahamantra, not said we engage in some devotional activity of cleaning, of cooking, of doing some driving for devotees in book distribution. We forget to chant. I mean, we chant maybe in the morning, or hopefully we chant our rounds, but while we engage in these devotional activities, we need to chant also. So chanting, that mantra needs to be everywhere. It's our best friend. Therefore it says Harinam Prabhu. It's a Prabhu. It's our master. So we must always be connected. That's the best way, the easiest way. Lord Chaitanya says that in this age of Kali. Harinama, Harinama, Harinamaiva Eva Kevalam. There is no other way than chanting the name of the Lord. In previous yugas there were other ways. But with all practicality, in this Kali Yuga, there is no other way to be constantly connected. Tesham sattata yuktanam, bhajatam pritipurvakam, dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly worship me with love, constantly. To them I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Constantly, again, that we coming across that constantly, like the Vaipum Samparo Dharma, without interruption and without motivation, constantly. So that we have to aim. I remember when the temple was open many years back, when Vishnumurti Prabhu with his Vanipedia, we did some compiling of Vani materials, of quotes and like that. He taught a group of devotees, and we were there when he was, and he showed, and we did some bit of a workshop there in the temple. Some of you may remember that. Then he gave us a sheet, which years later, we read that out, and Ben was at the forefront of that. And how many ways are there to chant Hare Krishna? And on that sheet, I think it was 100 ways where Srila Prabhupada speaking about Hare Krishna. It was always constantly, uninterrupted, all the time, non-stop. So many of the same, different words for the same thing. Be connected always. We said chanting, we said mantra. That mantra is so powerful. That mantra will accomplish everything. What yogis with 10,000 years in meditation, what the whole Ashtanga Yoga, the whole Jnana Yoga, and everything, what say awards, that chanting of the Maha Mantras, this powerful mantra, can achieve easily. Because we cannot do Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Yoga. These things are not within our reach. But we can chant. Practical. Very practical. Then our world becomes like Vaikuntha. Then we eventually become Atmarama, like Krishna, Atmarama, self-satisfied. We become liberated souls. And at the end of leaving this body, we go back home to Godhead. Haribol. Anything else? Or shall we move on? But this verse is purport. You can, in your own time, read it again. It's absolutely so beautiful. So many points. What Rupa Goswami and this and this and that. Okay, if there's nothing else, I would like to invite Rashmi Mataji to get us to... What's the next verse? Ben, what's the next verse? 27?
The next verse is 27, yeah.
27. Tom, you leaving and you coming. Hare Krishna. 27. Rashmi Mataji, can you give us a reading of 27?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. Sitat patra vyajner upaskrita prashun varshet abhivarshita pati Pishang Vasa Vanamalaya Bhabo Ghano Yatha Kodupa Chapa Vedyuteha Vedyuteha. Translation: As the Lord passed along the public road of Dwarka, his head was protected from the sunshine by a white umbrella. White feathered fans moved in semicircles, and showers of flowers fell upon the road. His yellow garments and garlands of flowers made it appear as if a dark cloud was surrounded simultaneously by sun, moon, lightning, and rainbows. Purport: the sun, moon, rainbow, and lightning do not appear in the sky simultaneously. When there is sun, the moonlight becomes insignificant, and if there are clouds and a rainbow, there is no manifestation of lightning. The Lord's bodily hue is just like a new monsoon cloud. He is compared herein to the cloud. The white umbrella over his head is compared to the sun. Movement of the bunch hair fan of flukes is compared to the moon. The showers of flowers are compared to the stars. His yellow garments are compared to the rainbow. So all these activities of the firmament, being impossible simultaneous factors, cannot be adjusted by comparison. The adjustment is possible only when we think of the inconceivable potency of the Lord. The Lord is all powerful, and in his presence, anything impossible can be made possible by his inconceivable energy. But the situation created at the time of his passing on the roads of Dwarka was beautiful and cannot be compared to anything besides the description of natural phenomena.
Hare Krishna, beautiful. Go say something about that shloka. Rashmi Mataji.
There's nothing for Prabhuji to say. It's just describing how beautiful. All these verses are just describing the beauty of the Lord. His yellow garment. His yellow garment especially, I find it very attractive. In Sanskrit, it is also called pitambar. So in a lot of bhajans and everywhere, it's always Krishna with his yellow pitambar, his yellow garment. So this is just describing the beauty of the Lord. I can't find anything to say, Prabhuji.
Yes, very nice. Pishanga Vashaha, by yellow garments. That is, if we can just remember that, the Lord is always dressed in yellow garments. Yes, anyone else has a question or any comment to that verse? If not, we're moving on. I would like to ask Vaishnava Mataji, take us to text 28. Is that all right, Vaishnava Mataji? Text 28?
Right, I'm just going to the screen now. I can't seem to go back. Can somebody else read?
You can go back.
Coming back.
Okay, who else can? Nalini Mataji, what about you? Nalini Mataji. Are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll try.
So, can you read us text 28?
Yeah, one moment, please. Okay. Pravavistas tu graham pitroha griham pitroha parisvaksta swa matrabhi vavande sirasa sapta devaki pramukha muda. Translation is, after entering the house of his father, he was embraced by the mothers present, and the Lord offered his obeisances unto them by placing his head at their feet. The mothers were headed by Devaki, his real mother. Purport. It appears that Vasudeva, the father of Lord Krishna, had completely separate residential quarters where he lived with his 18 wives, out of whom Srimati Devaki is the real mother of Lord Krishna. But in spite of this, all other stepmothers were equally affectionate to him, as will be evident from the following verse. Lord Krishna also did not distinguish his real mother from his stepmothers, and he equally offered his obeisances unto all the wives of Vasudeva present on the occasion. According to scriptures, also there are 7 mothers: the real mother, the wife of the spiritual master, the wife of a Brahmana, the wife of the king, the cow, the nurse, and the earth. All of them are mothers. Even by this injunction of the Shastras, the stepmother, who is the wife of the father, is also as good as the mother, because the father is also one of the spiritual masters. Lord Krishna, the Lord of the universe, plays the part of an ideal son just to teach others how to treat their stepmothers.
Oh, isn't that nice? to teach us how to treat our stepmothers. Very nice. No distinction. No distinction. And the Lord, by his personal example, gives that idea. These 7 mothers is very important to remember. These 7 mothers. Usually we are familiar with the cow is a mother. But the earth is a mother, in particular at the moment when the earth, this planet, is exploited for resources from oil to minerals to everything. It's just completely getting exhausted, and nature is exploited on the brink of collapse. So earth needs to be treated as a mother, with all respect. Just by Krishna conscious, so many problems in this world will be solved. Just by being even a little bit of Krishna conscious. And the people will not exploit this planet's resources anymore. They just take what they need and not according to their greed. And the earth is supplying. If Krishna is in the center. Then the earth is a mother, the nurse is a mother, the cow, of course. The wife of the king is also treated as a mother. The wife of the Brahmana is a mother. The wife of spiritual master and the real master and the stepmother, it's all the same. Anyone has any question to this shloka or comment?
Prabhuji, can I ask something?
Yes.
How come Vasudeva...
I like this question, starting with how come.
How come Vasudeva has got so many wives? Is this?
Oh, I knew that question would come by someone. How many? 8? 18.
18, not 8.
18 wives. How come Vasudeva had 18 wives? Who can answer this question? Ben, Rashmi. Rashika, if you have a question, put your question in the chat. And I will keep an eye on the chat and we tackle that question because your microphone is not working. Tom, if you have any question, Let us know. Raise your hand. Anybody has any question? Raise your hand.
So, Prabhuji, as far as I know, Kshatriyas would often have many wives. So if you see Lord Dashrath, Ramchandra's father, even he had 3 wives. Because previously, what would happen is when the kings, they would often marry the princesses of other kingdoms for political reasons. So all sorts, to build up their army, or if the king has offered his daughter, then they will accept it. So there used to be political reasons involved for getting married to more than one wife. So I'm guessing that is one of the reasons.
Yes, it's definitely one of the reasons. Another reason is that every woman should be married. And if there are more women than men, then naturally a man should have more than one wife. But it has nothing to do with today. If we're thinking of more than one wife, we're thinking of just exploitation and lust. But this, in these days, had nothing to do with that. And of course, as a Kshatriya, rightly, what you said, Rashmi, others were not allowed to do that. The Kshatriyas were allowed to have more than one wife, because Kshatriyas were the kings and administrators. They could look after their wives. They could satisfy their wives with everything they wanted. We hardly can even maintain one wife. So for us, there is no question. This doesn't apply in modern days. I know Muslims do something different, but no.
Prabhuji, isn't Lord Krishna Vaishnav?
What is Lord Krishna? Is he a Kshatriya? Is he a Vaishya?
Yeah,
What is he? Many people have asked that question.
He's a Vaishnav.
Who are you? Huh?
He is a Vaishnav, isn't it? I think so.
A Vaishya or a Vaishnava?
He was a So when he was born with, when he was living, he's performed so many different activities. When he was on the battlefield, he's a Kshatriya. When he's in Dwarka, he's a Kshatriya as Dwarkadish. But when he's in Gokul, as a cowherd boy, he's a Vaishya. So depending upon his role, he is taken on so many different,
roles. Yes.
Yeah, different roles, yeah.
And by the way, Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. He is neither a Vaishya or a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or Shudra, whatever. He's neither of that. And he's everything of that. Ben, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say, it's like Krishna is transcendental to all these classifications, These Varna and Dharma.
Yes, even we are, as Vaishnavas, as devotees, we are transcendental to that as well. Srila Prabhupada showed the devotees how to wash the floor. Because here in the Western countries, we wash the floor, it is with some special mop. They have dozens of different systems. The old mop with a round hole and the bucket that's long gone, and there's sophisticated machines and that and that. So Srila Prabhupada showed the devotees how to wash the floor, down on the floor with a cloth, like right, like left, this. But does it mean Srila Prabhupada, he was washing the floor? He has become a Shudra? Of course not. As devotees, we can be engaged in any, or if we artists generally are accepted to be Shudras. So if devotees doing some Kirtan, they're doing some musical, so they have become Shudras? No, of course not. Devotees are transcendental. As transcendental as Krishna is, so devotees are also transcendental. So yes, that was a question here. Vasudeva, he was a Kshatriya, he could maintain all the wives. And by the way, Krishna, how many wives he had? How many wives? Nalini Mataji. How many wives?
1,600 and
No, more than that.
16,000. Sorry,
Yes,
16,000.
that sounds better. Huh? So, and did he provide for all of them? Yes. He had a palace for every one of the queens. A palace for every queen. And he expanded himself. It's not that the queens had to wait 16,000 days until he came home. Huh? No, he expanded himself 60,000 times.
Is it as well that Vasudev, besides political reasons for marrying these wives, these 18 wives, also he had material facility to support each one of them.
That we already mentioned, yes. And Rashmi mentioned also, yes, through marriage, allegiances with other kingdoms were formed. That was quite common. If we look, interesting, if we look at British history, Henry VIII, he was a king, but he did not know a king can have more than one wife. So he wanted to marry another wife, so therefore he had to kill the previous wife. There was no need of killing the previous wife to marry another wife, and there was no need of divorcing from the Catholic Church and creating the Anglican Church just in order to marry another wife.
But he couldn't marry because this was like
church,
a papal dictate that
yes.
you could only have one wife, and you had to be monogamous to one person. So he tried to circumvent the law. So he
did.
Obviously, he was a rascal, and he killed his wives and all kind of heinous things.
But if we're looking at Vedic culture, there was no need for that. It's not that Vasudeva had to kill 17 wives of being with wife number 18. No, he maintained all of them. Okay,
So
let's move on
Prabhuji,
from that point. Yes.
So Prabhuji, did the 18 wives have children?
Sure, they would have children.
So they're not mentioned anywhere in the scriptures.
I'm sure they're mentioned somewhere if we dig deeper. Surely.
We only
There's
know
no...
of Balaram.
Huh?
I only know of Balaram.
Yes, we know
Krishna,
only very little. If
Krishna,
we look a little bit.
He had 10 children with each of his wives.
Which is of the 16,000 wives, yes. So
he had
surely,
a huge family.
To satisfy a wife, you have to give children. There's no question. Vasudeva would definitely have children with his 18 wives. 18 wives, that's a very small number. Vasudeva was a strong king. Okay, let's move on. Next shloka. We take maybe one more shloka, 2 to the most, and then we do a bit of sharing. We have a quiz for everyone. We'll see if that works out this time. So, what is the next shloka? Next shloka is 29. It's very short, yes? Okay, who wants to take on 29? 29. Tom, what about you?
I am on a telephone, so I can't see the verse. Okay.
You have bad connection, have you?
Yeah, it keeps switching off. I'm in a really bad storm here, so it might not be very clear. Maybe somebody else would like to read it.
Okay, so you skip it. You just listen to it. Do you find it interesting what's going on here?
Yeah, it's fascinating. Thank you very much.
Fascinating. That we want to hear. Hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, discussing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is fascinating. Only a devotee can say that, Tom. Haribol. All glories to you. Okay. Ben, I will mute you. And Nalini Mataji, I will mute you, just so you know. We don't have any background noise. So, Varshana Mataji, have you found your screen? You want to take on text 29? Or you want to rather skip it? I shouldn't even say that to give you the arguments. Vashana, what do you say? Read it for us, or rather not?
Okay, let me try and get there again.
Say it again.
I have to go back and forth about 3 or 4 times, and that'll just
Why?
take a bit of time just to unmute myself first and then to go back. I've gone back into the main screen now.
Okay. Usually we just go from one screen to another. But with the iPhone, it's just double clicking. And going to, I don't know, with the Android device, how is that?
It just takes a bit of time. Right,
That is okay.
26. Whoops, sorry. It's what, 29 or?
29, yes.
29. Okay. Taha putram ankam aropya sneha snuta payodhara harsha vivalitat manaha sisichu netrajer chalai.
Beautiful Sanskrit. Thank you.
Translation. The mothers, after embracing their son, sat him on their laps. Due to pure affection, milk sprang from their breasts. They were overwhelmed with delight, and the tears from their eyes wetted the Lord. Perfect by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When Lord Krishna was at Vrindavan, even the cows would become moistened by affection towards him, and he would draw milk from the nipples of every affectionate living being. So what to speak of the stepmothers who were already as good as his own mother?
Hare Krishna. Yes, we have many stories. We have many stories in relation to cows also. If cows, by love and affection from the devotees. I mean, there was that very nice example of Kalindi, the cow at Bhaktivedanta Manor. This cow had never, she tried to get her pregnant, the devotees. That was many, many years back. And there are other examples all over the world with devotees. And of course, materialistic person say they will not accept that. But it's a fact. So this Kalindi, she never let a bull come close to her. There were other cows around, they were all mothers. And Kalindi was, no mother. Huh? One day, Vashna, can I unmute you? There is noises there. One day, she just stood in the way and didn't let the devotees pass by. And she stood in a way like the other cows are standing when they're getting milked. And then the devotees realized her. She has a very big otter. And it just felt like Kalindi is saying, go milk me. She never had a calf. Never. And then the devotees tried, and she was very happily standing there. And she milked a whole bucket of milk from Kalindi, who had never had a calf, who had never let the bull come close to her, just by the affection. And being with other cows, of course, who were all mothers, who had their calves and drinking the milk. So one day, Kalindi, she had milk. And from that on for years, they milked her without she ever having a baby. So milking, in this example which we hear, with the mothers, the stepmothers, and milk coming to the breast, that has not to do with only having children. Generally, from the scientific point, when I related this story, I was once speaking at Amit's vegetarian veggie group, and it was a theme was they asked me to speak on cow protection. When I said this story, one girl stood up and said, "Oh, that's not possible. This cow must have had a brain tumor." That's the only explanation which materially minded people can give. When they hear a cow gives milk without having a calf, or she must have had a brain tumor. They can only think in mechanistical terms. No. You have to take in account the spiritual side of things, the affection these cows are being given. And by affection, the milk flows. As we hear in this shloka, by the affection, of course, that is Krishna. But, okay, anyone has a question to that?
Prabhuji, I'm just reminded of the Brahma Vimohan Leela, when Lord Brahma steals all the calves and all the Gopa boys, and he runs off with them. So now Krishna has to expand himself into thousands and thousands of calves and into thousands and thousands of Gopa boys. So when these all return back, the mothers, so he's doing this because he is, the main reason for doing this is because he wants to satisfy all the cow mothers who have always kept on feeling, oh, I wish Krishna was my son. All the elder gopis are thinking, oh, I wish Krishna was born to me and not to Yashoda. So he's doing this to satisfy them. So when these Krishna has expanded himself and he's going back to Gokul, Balaram is not there. Balaram has been kept back on that day by Rohini, Mata Rohini, for some ceremony with relation to his birth date. So he hasn't been there. So now when he sees, he finds it very strange. What's going on? All these, even older Gopa boys, these mothers are breastfeeding the older Gopa boys. How strange. And then the same thing he notices with the cows. Apparently, cows, when the second calf is born, they lose interest in the first calf. So they will not be interested in feeding the first calf, because the first calf would have by the time become old also. But now, when this calf is being returned back, it's not the calf, it's Krishna actually. So Balaram notices that these calves are also, the mother cow is licking them and breastfeeding and feeding them from the udders with milk. So he immediately understands what has happened. There's so much affection is flowing even to the older Gopas and the older calves, only because it is Krishna himself. So the cows and the elder gopis are taking full opportunity of this situation.
Beautiful. Yes, very beautiful. And very beautiful mentioned. That is a reason why Krishna expanded himself, to satisfy the older gopis. Yes, affection. That is called bhava. This affection is called bhava, the stage of bhava. We know these stages: Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, and so on, up to bhava. That mood, that affection. So let's pray in the core of our hearts that we developing a fragment of that affection towards Krishna. Then, or even towards chanting the holy name of the Lord. That's also Krishna. If we can get a fraction of that affection for chanting the Mahamantra, then our life will become perfect. Okay, I think that was our last shloka for tonight. Let's do a bit of sharing. Let's do the quiz. Okay, so what we need you to do. You go to www in your browser. You just skip over to the browser. The same browser where we were reading the verses, Vedabase. Go to that and type in the address bar on top, or wherever it is for the newer softwares and iPhone, it's on the bottom. Type, when you search for something, or type it in Google and search for it, it's also okay. www.kahoot.com I put it in the chat. I copy and paste it. Copy. So here you have it in the chat, www.kahoot.it. When you go there, it will ask you a PIN number. And you put in 7084204. All the while by audio we will be connected. You can speak and I can hear you, and I can speak and you can hear me. Let me know.
Can you say that number again?
It's in the chat, 708-4204. If you have the app, you can also do that in the app. I don't know exactly how that works. But in the browser, you just put kahoot.it. Rashika is already here. Welcome, Rashika. You're in Kahoot. Ben is here. PIN is 7084204. Well, we have others missing. Rashmi, where are you?
Prabhuji, I'm not on that route. I find it difficult to do all this. I'll just listen to you all.
What? You cannot go to kahoot.it? You go into so many sites on Google.
It's easy to find it. Kahoot IT, then it's enter the PIN. If you only listen to it, it's not so much fun. But if you play, it's really fun.
Yes. Just type in. I mean, you're searching in Google for so many things, so just search for Kahoot, KAHOOT.IT. I don't know what the IT stands for, but okay. Vaishana is here, Ben is here, Rashika is here. Rashmi is still missing, Tom is missing, Nalini is missing. Let's wait for them to find their way. Nalini, are you struggling? Maybe we all unmute our microphone, because then we can also speak.
Prabhuji, what is the PIN?
The PIN is 708-4204.
7084204. 70842. 708
4204.
4204.
Yes, and hit enter. And give yourself a name. Put your name in. Rashmi is here, Vaishana is here, Rashika is here. Ben, we have lost you. Ben is back. Tom, where are you?
I'm on a telephone, so I can only
Okay.
Zoom
So
on.
we leave you
to
out.
go to a different
Yes,
page.
okay. It's a lot of fun.
Sorry,
4. Who is missing? Vaishana,
okay. Everyone out here.
Rashika. Nalini is missing. Nalini, what happens? Where are you, Nalini? type in www.kahoot.it or Google for Kahoot. Don't go to kahoot.com, kahoot.it. What's happening, Nalini Mataji? Hare Krishna. We're waiting just for you. You're the only one missing. Simple thing. Shall we start? Without Nalini. That will be a shame, Nalini Mataji, if we have to do without you. Would really like you to be there as well. Okay. Let's just go ahead then. Are we ready? We four of us are here. Oh, now who left? Ben, you left again. What happened to you? You clicking around. Ben, what happened? Why did you leave?
Am I left?
You have been leaving for 5 seconds, and you.
I was trying to send the Kahoot to someone.
No, just stay on. Okay, let's start. Nalini, obviously, she is not coming. Okay, I click the start button. Are you ready?
Ready.
You answer the question. You get a question, and you get 4 colors with the possible answers, and you have to choose. You will see it becomes self-evident. Okay, start.
You have to put up your shared screen.
No, not yet. No. You just stay on the app. Stay on the website. Can you see the answer, the question, Ben, now this time? Ben. Indecision. Arjuna is what? Okay. There is a time. Do you see the question, Ben?
I see it, yes.
Yes, so that's an improvement from last time.
Yes, good.
So 2.
Well, you did 19 questions. Wow.
Maybe, yes, I don't remember. Maybe I put one more. 2 clicked on the blue color, confused, which is a correct answer. Arjuna is confused about whether or not to fight. And 2 of you said perplexed. It's almost the same, but confused is the right answer. And please do also mind, so quicker you click on the right answer, so more points you get. Okay. Next. Rashmi is a leader so far with 837 points, followed by Ben with 772. Right? Ben, do you see that score or not?
Yeah, I see it, but you know what I liked last time when you had the shared screen as well, because
why?
Because afterwards it told you it showed you
honoring the players,
all the other players and what they got, but now it's only showing me.
Yes, we will get, once we finished with all the questions, we will go to the shared screen and see what every player will go to that.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so Rashmi is on top, then Ben, and Rashika is on Varshana. Let's go next question. True or false, the aim of the Gita is karma yoga? Now, that's an easy question. True or false? 25 seconds to go. Whoa, that was quickly before its time limit. it is false. Who said it is true? Two of you said it's true. The aim of the Gita is karma yoga. Oh no, I'm really disappointed. No, the aim of the Gita is not karma yoga. What's the aim of the Gita, Ben?
Bhakti.
Of course, absolutely. Rashmi, please tell me, you didn't say karma yoga, did you? Please say no.
You'll see when
You
when
did?
the scores come up.
No, I didn't.
Oh, Rashmi, I mean,
No, I didn't. I got it correct. I said false. Must be Vaishnav Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so do remember, the aim of the Gita, and the whole Gita, the conclusion is about Bhakti Yoga. It's not Karma Yoga is finished with the 6th chapter, and Jnana Yoga is finished with the 6th chapter. The middle 6 chapters, the most important and the most protected chapters are all about Bhakti Yoga. Okay, let's move on. Next. No, Rashmi is still on top with Ben, so you couldn't have got that wrong, no. Okay, next question. If the family is destroyed, who becomes polluted? If the family is destroyed, will become polluted. Bhagavad Gita 140. Hey, everybody got that one right. Women will come polluted because they're not protected anymore. Well done. Next. Ben, you have some sign next to you. You got a winning streak. You got a few answers right in a row. Is that what it means? And again, so quicker you click the right answer, then the more points you get. Ben has the highest answer streak of 3. 3 in a row. Well done. He is close behind you, Rashmi. Okay, next. Govinda means, oh, but that's an easy one. Please don't get that wrong. Govinda, what does it mean? Govinda. Someone got that wrong. It's not master of the senses. Master of the senses is Rishikesha. That means master of the senses. Govinda is a pleaser of the cows and the senses. You got that right, Rashmi, didn't you? You are very much liking the cows. Okay, very good. Next. Yes, you, Rashmi, you're still on top. And Ben has a winning streak of 4. Okay, next. If elders are killed, no one will check. That's more difficult. The clock is ticking. No one will check. Bhagavad Gita 139. You don't have the time to get the Bhagavad Gita out. 3 answers. We're missing a 4 answer. Okay. Irreligious action. Everybody got that right. Congratulations. It's not enemies, it's not imposters, and not thieves and rogues. Irreligious actions. If elders are killed, no one will check irreligious actions. Yes? Common sense. Vaishana, you're moving up. Next. Arjuna addresses Krishna as Achyuta. What does it mean? That is an important question. What does Achyuta mean? That's a difficult one. 1 answer missing. 3 have answered. Oh, we're getting all different answers.
You know, Achyuta, I always thought that meant infallible.
No.
Infallible, Achyuta.
Yes, it means in. That's not a choice here. It means Srila Prabhupada explains infallible means he never fails in his affection for his devotees. That's a further explanation. He's infallible for his affection to his devotees. So you're right. But what did you click? Did you click is a husband of the goddess of fortune? I hope not.
I don't know which one I clicked, but I got it wrong anyway.
Someone clicked he is all powerful. Yes, Krishna is all powerful, but that is not what Achyuta means. Achyuta means infallible. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. And he is not the husband of the god. He is, but that does not what is Achyuta means. And he is never in illusion. Yes, Krishna is never in illusion, but that's not what Achyuta means. Achyuta means infallible, infallible. He never fails in his affection for his devotees. Next. Oh, Rashmi, you're really moving up. Vaishana, you're really moving up. Rashmi still holds that top position. How is that possible? Ben, come on. Rashika, Vaishana. Next. If culture is destroyed, no will be created. What will be not created? Directly from Bhagavad Gita. No. No good progeny will be created. That would be logical. No festivals, no community projects. But that is really, you have to know this verse and purport of the Bhagavad Gita to answer these questions. No community projects. If that's relating to in chapter 1, if culture is destroyed, no community projects will be created. It's a cultural question, really. Next. Arjuna cannot alone without his relatives. 144. What we get? Come on, click. Time is running out. 70 seconds left. He cannot enjoy, 2, which is a correct answer. He cannot perform his duties without his relatives. Yes, kind of a logical. 2 have clicked on the cannot perform his duties because the duties it needs cooperation, perhaps. Okay. Next. Because Arjuna is a devotee, he's naturally. That is an easy question. Yes, the answer is coming very quick. Oh, very different answers. He is soft-hearted, directly from Bhagavad Gita, 146. But because Arjuna is a devotee, he is naturally soft-hearted. He's knowledgeable also, yes. And he is tolerant, yes. But according to Bhagavad Gita, in particular, it is mentioned. He's not mentioned because he's a devotee, he's tolerant. He's soft-hearted, that's directly mentioned. Next. Arjuna wants Govinda to what? His senses to what? Please control, sustain, purify. One answer missing. Make your decision. Okay, actually the correct answer is to please. Bhagavad Gita 132 to 35. Who was that who clicked to please?
That was me, Prabhu.
Okay, but I mean, you did that game before, so that you should be cut down by 50%. Okay, next. Oh, Ben is on top. What did you say, Rashmi, on that one? Something else. Now we have, that should be easy. What is Rishikesh? What does it mean? We just spoke about it. Nobody should get that wrong now. I would be very disappointed if anybody gets that wrong. We just explained it. Someone got it wrong. All attractive. No, that's not what Rishikesh means. Rishikesh, the master, the owner of the senses, or master of the senses, same thing. Right? Krishna addresses Arjuna as Gudakesh. Very important question. That's very, I mean, if we read anywhere near first chapter, Gudakesh. If you don't know the answer, just give it a guess. Oh, this is spread all over all four. I don't believe it. Conqueror of sleep and ignorance. That's the right answer. Someone said heroic fighter. So that is all guesses, yes. I think we'll have to go back to Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna cannot enjoy the kingdom without his relatives. True or false? True. Not false. According to Bhagavad Gita. If the family is destroyed, what will cease? What will cease? If the family is destroyed, it's all first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What will cease? Religious practice will cease. That's a correct answer. True or false? If culture is destroyed, no welfare activities will take place. That should be easy. Yes, everybody got that right. How beautiful is that? Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. You really know your Gita. We're almost there. We're almost there. 16. The Gita is all about? Oh, no, that should be very clear. If anybody gets that wrong, I think I should drown myself in the Ganga. Hare Krishna. Please don't get that wrong. Please, I beg you. The Gita is all about what? Oh no, it's not Jnana Yoga. No, sorry. It's Bhakti Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga means devotional service. Hare Krishna. We have to, what we have to do well in this quiz. We have to, what? Read the entire Gita. No, this quiz is only about the first chapter. We don't have to read the entire Gita. We do the fill-in exercise, which I mentioned, which everybody got actually. Okay, never mind. So, 2 more questions. If the family is destroyed, woman will, Bhagavad Gita 140. Produce unwanted children, become degraded. It's also true, but in particular in Bhagavad Gita 140, produce unwanted children. And our last question, Arjuna calls Krishna Madhava. Oh no, that also you must know that. What does Madhava mean? Please don't get that wrong. Madhava. Oh, Madhava. These are misleading answers. The well-wisher of all living entities, no. Nobody got that right? The killer of the Madhu demons, that's a misleading answer. Madhava, Madhu. I purposely put it like that. So you have been misled. Madhava means the husband of the goddess of fortune. Bhagavad Gita 136. So that was the podium. Now go back to Rashika, 8 out of 19, well done. 13 out of 19, Rashmi, well done. And Ben, 14 out of 19, just one ahead of Rashmi. Just one ahead. Isn't that nice? Oh, isn't that funny? Look at that. We have the Bhagavad Gita Olympics here. Okay, here we go. Did you like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very
it's good
nice.
fun.
Very good.
Of course, we can make some nice questions. I have for the Wednesday group, for the Bhagavad Gita study group, I have already some questions based on the worksheet to fill and exercises. But we can make a quiz, and I would actually ask you, Rashmi, you are very good in that. You have been the master of quizzes before. Why don't you send me some questions? It would be nice. It is more difficult. It's fairly easy to, not easy, but easier to make some questions on the Bhagavad Gita. What about the Bhagavatam? Anybody, if you can make some questions, or we have two options. Some questions on the Bhagavatam and 4 answers, or true or false. 2 options. Send me those questions and 4 answers, and then I can quite fairly quickly make up a quiz with, I think, 12, suggesting 12 quiz questions, not more. It was a bit too much today. So we'll keep to 12 and not 19. Rashmi, you are good in quizzes. Why don't you make up a quiz or make up some questions? We're compiling questions from Rashika. You can send in on the WhatsApp to me some question. Rashmi, Ben, Tom, Vaishana, anybody. General questions, things we should or we have discussed here, we should know. That would be a general quiz about Krishna consciousness. That should be a good mix, Rashmi. Maybe 60-70% fairly easy questions and 30% more difficult questions. Otherwise, the world is getting disheartened. We don't want that. Or a quiz specifically, let's say, what we have discussed today. I could probably come up. We have discussed very specific points today. So that will reinforce our learning experience of today, even if it's just 5 questions of a quiz of what we have covered today. And that video, that recording from today will be out probably by tomorrow. So, Rashmi, what do you say? Sorry, battery low. Okay, Hare Krishna. We're stopping in just a minute. Thank you very much, Vaishana Mataji. So, Rashmi, what do you say? Can you come up with some quiz or some questions? Or both?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'll come up with something when I get some time during the week
Yes.
from the first canto. I will sit with the first canto and then we can look at it. Some general
That would be
questions.
nice. That will be nice from the first canto up till 11th
Now.
chapter where we are now.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Not more than 12 questions.
Yeah.
And 70% fairly easy. Huh? And there should be some more difficult questions as well. Huh? Perhaps even 80% more easy ones and 20% a little bit more intricate ones. That would be nice. So that piece of software, which we have discovered here by courtesy of Amar, that is very helpful in that. And I can compile it on my mobile in the mobile app and then make it available here. So Ben, this time it was going much, much better than last time, right?
It was much better, yeah.
Yes, because you could see the questions. Okay, here we stop. And anybody wants to send me some questions, please do. We incorporate that so anybody can take part.
Well, do you just want questions from the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita at the moment?
For Wednesday, we already have all the questions. Yeah, you could, if you could come up with some question for Wednesday. Yes, for Bhagavad Gita, only first chapter. We're not going further than the first chapter. At the moment.
Have you got Wednesday's quiz already prepared?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll leave it for now then, and I'll think about it and maybe.
No, think about it. Come up with some question for the second chapter.
Oh, for the second chapter. Okay. All right.
It becomes much more interesting because they're philosophical questions. And the first chapter is just really an introduction, setting the scene, really. Okay.
You know when you compile these quizzes.
Yes.
Does it keep them for you? Do you get a record of them? You got them on files?
Yes, they're publicly available.
Oh, good. Okay.
With you could search. I searched for Bhagavad Gita. There are coming a lot of Bhagavad Gita quizzes up, all without exception compiled by some Indian people without much knowledge. And even some answers are actually wrong. So nobody is doing that according to Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. So these are not helpful. So ours will show up there in that lot as well. You can search.
Can you in the app, the Kahoot app, can you compile it? Can you compile your own quiz in there?
Absolutely. That's what I do.
Okay.
Okay, let's have that privately. I think everybody else wants to go now. Otherwise, everybody will drop out. You can phone me and we can discuss that. So, Rashmi, you will come up with first canto questions, 12 of them. That would be really, really nice. And give me a day to compile it into the software, and then we'll have a quiz. We can have a quiz every time, short, even 5 questions. Thank you very much. We'll see you next Saturday, or for those who are studying Bhagavad Gita workshop next Wednesday. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.